Top 10 Richest Gangsters of All Time. Hey there, curious minds! Ever wondered who really ruled the underworld? Get ready to dive into the gripping tables of power, money, and notoriety. In today's video, we're unveiling the top 10 richest gangsters of all time. Brace yourselves for jaw-dropping stories that will make you question just how far some were willing to go for wealth and dominance. Number 1. Leona Roberts Helmsley, $5 billion. The Queen of Mean, Leona Helmsley, was an American businesswoman and real estate entrepreneur. She managed Helmsley Hotels and other luxury properties after being born in 1920. Her real estate investments, including New York City's Helmsley Palace, earned her $5 billion. Helmsley was accused of tax evasion and other financial offenses. Despite her financial achievement, she was imprisoned in 1989. Her lavish lifestyle and harsh personal behavior tarnished her reputation. Leona Helmsley's biography shows how riches and influence may lead to legal issues. Her colorful personality and real estate influence make her one of the most intriguing and wealthy gangster-like people in recent history. Number 2. Nicky Barnes, $105 million. Leroy Nicholas Barnes, known as Nicky Barnes, was a 1970s and 1980s American drug lord and criminal leader. He commanded the Council, a Harlem, New York criminal organization that controlled much of the heroin trade. Barnes was notorious for his lavish lifestyle and long-time evasion of police authorities. Drug trafficking helped him gain $105 million. Barnes' organization distributed enormous amounts of heroin, contributing to the era's terrible drug pandemic. Barnes was captured in 1978 and turned federal informant, testifying against his former associates. This action brought down several drug lords. His evidence and collaboration with law enforcement changed organized crime fighting. Nicky Barnes' story of crime, money, and collaboration with authorities is complicated. His rise and fall demonstrate the issues law enforcement has in confronting huge criminal businesses and the extent some would go to illegally obtain vast fortunes. Number 3. Paul Lear Alexander, $170 million. Paul Lear Alexander, a lesser-known mobster, was recognized for his illegal actions. Alexander, an early 20th century crook, amassed an estimated $170 million. Alexander's crimes include prohibition bootlegging, extortion, and illicit gambling. His contacts and ruthlessness helped him negotiate organized criminal networks and create a fortune. Alexander's clandestine criminal organization made him rich. However, more famous criminals eclipsed his influence and wealth. Paul Lear Alexander's tale is one of many criminals who took advantage of social unrest and inadequate law enforcement. His illegitimate fortune shows organized crime's cunning and determination. Number 4. Zenli Yegon, $300 million. Zenli Yegon's large illegal enterprise garnered international notice. Yegon, a Shanghai-born businessman and reputed drug king, made $300 million through criminal enterprises. Yegon supplied precursor chemicals for methamphetamine manufacturing in Mexico. His network reportedly aided international narcotics trafficking. Mexican officials raided Yegon's property in 2007, finding $205 million in cash and luxury goods. This was one of the largest drug-related cash busts. Yegon was caught and extradited to Mexico after evading capture. Zenli Yegon's narrative illustrates the global drug trade's complexity. His riches and role in drug manufacture and trafficking show the global reach of organized crime. Number 5. Freeway Ricky Ross, $600 million. Freeway Ricky Ross, not the rapper, was a 1980s drug lord. Ross from Los Angeles made $600 million in the crack cocaine trade. Ross popularized crack cocaine and established a massive distribution network spanning multiple US cities. His enterprise fueled the crack epidemic and raised crime rates. In the late 1980s, police enforcement brought Ross's enterprise down. Drug trafficking got him life in jail in 1996. He was released in 2009 when his sentence was reduced. Freeway Ricky Ross's narrative shows how crack cocaine ravaged American culture. His riches and influence in the drug trade demonstrate the difficulties law enforcement has in battling such strong criminal businesses. Ross's collapse in jail illustrate the dangers of unlawful wealth. Number 6. Anthony "Fat Tony" Salerno, $600 million. In the Italian-American Mafia, Anthony "Fat Tony" Salerno was a major player. Salerno, a criminal from East Harlem, New York, amassed an estimated $600 million. Salerno influenced building, trash management, and illicit gambling. He was strong in the Genovese criminal family, one of New York City's 5 major mafia factions. The famous Commission Trial under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations or RICO Act convicted Salerno in 1986. Organized criminality earned him a 100-year sentence. Number 7. Rafael Caro Quintero, $650 million. Mexican drug lord Rafael Caro Quintero helped expand the drug trade. Quintero from Badiraguato, Mexico, was a major member of the Guadalajara cartel, one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels. Quintero made $650 million from marijuana and cocaine trafficking. He oversaw large-scale narcotics smuggling across the U.S. border. Quintero kidnapped, tortured, and killed DEA agent Enrique "Kiki" Camarena in 1985. This horrible assault sparked a large manhunt and damaged U.S.-Mexico ties. Mexico imprisoned Quintero in 1987. His captivity was brief. A Mexican court freed him on a technicality in 2013, causing an outcry domestically and worldwide. Rafael Caro Quintero's narrative shows how the drug trade affects law enforcement and diplomacy. His unlawful fortune illustrates the difficulties of fighting large criminal organizations. Quintero's escape shows how tough it is to prosecute high-profile crooks. Number 8. Jose Figueroa Agosto, $130 million. Jose Figueroa Agosto, known as the Pablo Escobar of the Caribbean, was a Dominican drug kingpin. Puerto Rican-born Agosto made $130 million in the worldwide narcotics trade. South American cocaine and other narcotics were Agosto's main business. He evaded police and opponents for years with his ingenuity. He dominated Caribbean drug trafficking. After years on the run, Agosto was arrested in Puerto Rico and extradited to the US in 2010. Drug and money laundering allegations plagued him. His detention was a huge win for international drug network dismantlers. Jose Figueroa Agosto's narrative shows the drug trade's worldwide reach and how far people would go to get rich illegally. His ability to operate across borders and elude capture for a long time illustrates the difficulties law enforcement has in combating multinational criminal organizations. Agosto's collapse shows the perseverance of individuals seeking justice for strong offenders. Number 9. Griselda Blanco, $2.26 billion. Griselda Blanco, the Black Widow or La Madrina, was a Colombian drug lord who changed organized crime. Blanco's climbed from humble origins in 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia, to one of the most influential and affluent criminal characters in both notoriety and curiosity. Blanco began her criminal career in the 1970s by creating a massive Colombia-US cocaine trafficking network. Her commercial savvy and ferocity in the Medellin cartel earned her notoriety. Blanco amassed hundreds of millions of dollars through her enterprises. Blanco was known as the Black Widow for her violent and enigmatic crimes. She showed her tough character by eliminating rivals and others. Blanco's empire collapsed in 1985 as the police drew closer. She was caught, convicted, and imprisoned in Colombia and the US. Number 10. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera, $1 billion. The Sinaloa cartel's leader, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera, is one of the world's most notorious drug lords. El Chapo, born in 1957 in La Tuna, Mexico, is a criminal legend. Cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine were El Chapo's main drugs. He was one of the wealthiest and most powerful criminals of his time, with a $1 billion net worth. His strategic brilliance and protracted evasion made him a formidable opponent for Mexican and American law enforcement. He escaped prison several times using elaborate tunnels and cunning. El Chapo was arrested and deported to the US in 2016, where he was convicted of drug trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. He received life in jail plus 30 years. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more jaw-dropping content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more videos.